the yogic teachings, there is something called the axis and the orbit. The axis we can think of as our internal foundation, our base, our value system. The orbit is our outward action, the action that we take out in the world. And the teaching is that if we focus on the axis, we will be happy no matter what. And if we only focus on the orbit, we will be successful no matter what. But if we want to be happy and successful, we have to balance both. So both the internal work and the outward action have to be in balance. Now, I'm sure we have either experienced ourselves or we know people who we've gone after the outside, the material things, and we feel like we've sort of come up empty-handed because we still feel an emptiness on the inside, and we still feel like there is a space that the material possessions do not fill. On the other hand, some people tend to completely swing in the other direction and just say, well, the material world is just, it's superficial, it's vain, it's corrupt, there's no value here. So we should just focus on the internal work because that's where the rewards are. But that's actually a trap as well. The way to work with this is that for every action that you take internally, you want to take an action in the outside world. And we can think of it this way. 80%, at least 80%, is not under your control. You have no influence over what's going on in your environments, in the outside world, 80% of the time. And 20% is your orbit. That's where you can make an impact. That's where the actions that you take will actually lead to results, and you can impact the world. And in order to do that, we need a neutral mind. We need a clear, clean, focused, intentional, conscious thought, because a lot of us are confused about where we can and cannot make an impact. And that leads to a lot of frustration. It leads to confusion. So we start with the internal work. And that can be either a meditation practice. Ideally, it is something that you do first thing in the morning because it sets up the energy for the rest of the day. And then as the day goes on, there's not things getting in the way of your internal work. But so it can be a yoga and meditation practice, but it can also be anything that you need to do to just go inside of yourself and get right with yourself. To know who you are, to know what's important to you, to know what success means to you, to know what actions you want and need to take today. So that can be anything from journaling to walking to prayer, to anything where you are in relationship with yourself, where you are building the relationship with yourself.